I want to make a little video today to address a question and concern I get a lot from my online clients and my one-on-one clients. Very common, and it's not only that, but it just needs to be addressed. It's something you should know about bench pressing and shoulder position. Everybody thinks they know how to bench press. Everybody thinks they know it's like riding a bike. It's something you just pick up. You just know how to do it. That's always the case, especially as we get older. Not everybody knows the position, the proper position of how you should keep your shoulders to keep them safe. The term you'll hear a lot is stacked. Keep your shoulders stacked, your scapula protracted. It's not only good for the younger lifters who are trying to protect their shoulders, but it's also good for, I'll be 44 here soon. I've put a lot of wear and tear on my shoulders. I'm trying to ration out the mileage I have left on my shoulders. So keeping my shoulders safe and putting the least amount of wear and tear on the shoulder joint as I bench press is only going to benefit me in the long run. So let's jump right into it. We're going to go over this, just some basic techniques and try to help you guys out with that shoulder pain you're having and or just keep that shoulder pain away. All right, guys. So first and foremost, to show you the kind of proper position of the shoulders, it's easier just for me to show you standing up. It's how I show a lot of my clients when I'm teaching them the proper way to bench press, just so you can see before we actually hop down on the bench and start moving the bar around. So when your shoulders are stacked, all you're doing initially, and you'll see this a lot with Olympic lifters, especially in powerlifting meets, and anybody that's been bench pressing for a long time. So all you're doing initially when the shoulders that are stacked is you're protracting your scapula, aka your shoulder blades. You're pulling them back and down. Okay? So what that looks like is, and it feels kind of funky the first time you've done it if you've never done this before, but I'm just keeping my shoulder blades back and down. So how does that correlate over into my bench press? So when I'm bench pressing, if I get in there, okay, shoulders are here, just natural, kind of normal posture, protracted, stacked. I have engaged my lats. I'm almost taking my shoulders and pushing them in, right? Not flexing, but just literally pushing my shoulders into the socket. It engages my lats. What does that do? That keeps my shoulders very nice and stable. See, when I'm here, and I now have my lats and my traps and a lot of these big upper back muscles engaged, that's now keeping my shoulders and my shoulder girdle as a whole nice and stable and kind of locked into position. So this is the difference. If I have my shoulders stacked, right? These are shoulders stacked. And this is what a lot of people do. See, this is when my shoulders are kind of out away from me. See how they're kind of away from the body? I lose that lat. I lose a lot of the stability. And this is where bad things can happen. Now, I'm not saying you should never do that. Sometimes you should get those scapula nice and wide, open up, train those rhomboids. But that's not what we're talking about today. Today we're talking about keeping your shoulders stacked and keeping them safe. So this is what it looks like if I'm bench pressing from the side. Shoulders back and down, right? I press till I lock out my elbows. Boom. See that? Let me flip around. Good engagement of the chest, right? That pec is still firing. Hard as a rock, right? Shoulders, triceps, all that fun stuff. If I'm here and I let that protraction go, I no longer stack my shoulders, I come out here. And see, now that shoulder joint is away from the body. You're losing that lat. You're losing a lot of stability there. Once again, if you're going heavy, especially if your shoulders out wide, you let those shoulders get way out in front of you. You can see, now that I show you, kind of how funky that looks. And this is where bad things can happen. Shoulder pain, you're putting a lot of stress on the shoulder joint. So, first things first, let's hop on the bench and see how it looks. All right, now that I'm hopping down on the bench, I want you guys to kind of see my lateral view so you can kind of see what it looks like down here from the bench itself. Just makes a little bit more sense from this angle. So first things first, not going into all these cues just today, but dig your feet in. You don't necessarily have to have your heels down, but the whole principle of digging your feet and or mainly your heels into the ground, tension in my glutes, right? I got tension in my core. Remember, the bench press is a big full body compound lift. If you want the strongest, best, bench press, you want tension throughout the entire kinetic chain, your body. So first and foremost, let's get back into what we were talking about, shoulders back and down. So I've done this enough times, it's very natural. I can kind of hop in here and just protract my scapula. It's almost instinctive. I just do it as soon as I hop on a bench and get ready to bench press. So you can see my shoulders are I'm pinching the bench with my shoulder blades. I've also strengthened my rhomboids over the years by training, practicing this method. So it's pretty common for me. And then when I go to get my bar, and let me show you, some people who, this method will take a little while to kind of, perfect, and I don't think you ever perfect it, but to really train and kind of dial in. So, practice that protracting, and you can stand up against the wall, if you don't have a bench at home, and just practice squeezing those shoulder blades, pinching the shoulder blades like you're trying to grab this bench with your shoulder blades. Okay, some people, I used to do this, use the slide, so I'll show you how this looks. I'd slide up, and then as I slide back down, and you'll see a lot of powerlifters doing this. I don't know what it is about that motion. I guess it's a little arch of the butt and kicking your butt up. It kind of helps you, just kick those shoulder blades back. But listen, do whatever works for you. Main thing is shoulder blades stay back and down. So this is what it looks like. This is another part. When people unrack, they'll get that nice good protraction, shoulders back and down. If they either A, have a bad spotter that lifts too far away, that pulls the bar away from them, or they lift too far, they lose all that protraction they just built up. So make sure these little hooks, that's why they're not that, you don't got big 2-inch hooks, at least you shouldn't. You just want a nice little quick lift and just engage. And yes, I'm just using the bar weight today so you guys can really see what I'm doing here. And also, it's not about weight today, it's about method, right? So now I'm here, my shoulders are backing down. Also, this is another thing, is the angle of the bar. Where am I going to put this bar? If you go wide here, this is not horrible. There's a time and place for this, but this is very shoulder dominant. Okay, see how my elbows are nice and kicked out? Me personally, for the stronger press, and to keep my shoulders safe and ration the mileage, I'm going to come down about mid-sternum and keep my elbows at about a 45-degree angle. I'm not tucking them too tight, okay? I'm not going super low on the rib cage. Right below, let's just not be PC here today and just say nipples, right below my nipples, okay? And I've worked with a lot of clients. 99% of them, it's going to be right below your nipples, okay? So I tuck about an inch, half inch off the chest, and then I press till I lock out my elbows here. Still a good flex on the chest, the shoulders, the triceps are engaged. I'm not way out here trying to push it through the ceiling, because once I'm here, you can see now my shoulders are exposed. They're kind of open, a little bit more open to injury. Once again, there's a time and a place for that, but that's not what we're talking about today. So once again, they call this the J curve. A lot of power lifters, if you watch the bar, if I put a laser on the end of that bar, you'll see this nice little kind of J curve. And as I press up, I bring it back over to the top of the chest. Pressing till I lock out my elbows. Okay. Boom. Cool. Real simple. Another thing to kind of show you what that looks like. I'll stand back up and I'll show you from behind what those elbows, I can actually show you from here, is once again, if they're out here, this is not horrible. You can still keep your shoulder blades protracted, locked back in place. That's cool. You're just going to put a lot more stress on those shoulders. The shoulders are going to carry a lot more of the load when it's nice and wide. If I bring those elbows in, about 45 degrees, this is what works best for me. Helps me keep that shoulder pain pretty much completely away for the past, 10 years of my life. 45-degree angle, right here. Boom. Mid-sternum, right below the nipples. Not going to take my shirt off. Not one of those videos, not today. So anyways, I'll show you what it looks like from behind. Nice and wide, right? Shoulder blades backing down still. Totally cool if you like this. A little bit more shoulder dominant. Taking some of the triceps out of the equation, right? That's a cool press, but that's what we're not talking about today. Here, I like to come right here. Boom. And you can, another big cue, almost left this one out. This is highly, highly important. As you get those shoulder blades back and down and protracted, this is where they tell you to literally break the bar in half. And response always gets, of course I can't break the bar in half. We know you can't. If you can, call me. Anyways, different video. But when you try to break that bar in half, you can see when I just do that little motion, those lats light up. Remember, the lats are like the glutes of the upper body, okay? Just like your squat and your deadlift with your lower body movements, the more you can get those glutes, kicking and firing, the better off you're going to be. The more I can get my lats engaged, whether they're actually moving the weight or they're just helping stabilize that shoulder girdle, the better, safer, and longer you're going to be pressing and using that movement, okay? One of the first videos I've done, guys, just a very common question. I'm going to try to touch more and more on a lot of these questions and, things that my clients and just people have been reaching out to me over on social media. Anything you guys want to hear more about or you like, please throw me a thumbs up. Fairly new to this online game, so I'm trying to do it the right way, which is, is the most beneficial to you guys, the clients, the people following me. As always, if you have some feedback, constructive criticism to add, please drop it at the bottom. We don't need negativity, but hey, we can all learn from each other. That's what I'm here to do. Teach y'all what I know, and hopefully y'all can teach me a few things along the way. All right? Peace.